Guys, we have the best for, this little Thanksgiving treat that we have today. We have the best guest speaker of the year on today. I'm super pumped to introduce Andy Santos. Andy is an absolute stud in the business, and I put it on the Voxer chat. His agency, guys, just so you guys know, last week, like we had our best week with writing right under 200,000. Well, his agency also had their best week with writing over 365,000 a premium. That's not bad. And it's really cool to see the growth of him and his team. Andy lives in right outside of Nashville in Franklin, Tennessee. He's married to a beautiful wife, Carrie, two super smart kids, extremely intelligent kids, very proud of them. And his overall, accomplishments could take up the entire call. So I'm going to kind of keep it short and sweet. But, this year, his agency's exploded. They are in overall premium, the third biggest agency in all of family heritage. That's massive. They're going to finish with, probably close to about $7 million worth of business. I know our agency, we're going to get up to 4 million, and they're going to be doing right at 7. So they're huge. Hope I want our agency to be doing what they're doing this time next year. And another thing I really admire about, Andy is that he's definitely the hardest working guy in his agency. He definitely leads from the front. And even though he works his butt off, leading his agency is all over the country. Even though he does all that, he still maintains, great work-life balance. His personal health is always on point. For those of you going to Puerto Rico next year, I call Andy Shreddy Krueger because whenever you see, whenever he takes a shirt off, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. The guy is ripped, and he's also one of the best humans this company's ever had. So Andy's going to have a part today that I'm very excited about, kicking off Thanksgiving week. And just going to talk about excellence. And he's got a great story for you guys at the end as well. So over to you, Andy. You're muted, buddy.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's rock and roll. So thank you, Kyle. If there's one thing you are excellent at, there's a lot of things, but one is introducing people with just this authentic, like childlike joy. Like you guys are so lucky to work with Kyle and Van, but since Kyle's hosting, I'll compliment you. Like, I know you know what I'm talking about. Everybody on here, like Kyle he is a special guy for sure. So I appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you for having me on. So this part is kind of about excellence, kind of about just keys to success, some stuff that we're doing. And I've got a good story at the end, and it'll remind us how thankful we all need to be as we go into the holiday here. So to be excellent at anything, you have to be all in. So that's where we're going to start. Number one is all of us, no matter where we are in our career, whether we're just starting, we've been around for 15, 20 years like Van, we're going to have moments throughout our career where we question what we do. But if we're to be excellent at anything, you have to be fully committed to what you're doing. Otherwise, there's no way you can be excellent. So we all need to continue to make a decision that this is our one defining career that sets up the remainder of your life and potentially other people's lives as well. So think about that for a second. Like you're currently right now in the job that is going to set up the rest of your life and potentially your children's the rest of their life. Okay. So 100% be committed. And if it's going to be, it's up to me. No excuses. So number two, I have decide what you want. Decide what you want. I always come back to there's really only two things people need to know to be successful. They need to know where they want to go, and they need to know how they're going to get there. That's it. That's all we need. Where am I going? How do I get there? I'm sure you guys hear this from Van and Kyle all the time, but you can't be excellent without at achieving a goal or a journey without knowing and defining what the journey is going to be. So it's like, I want to be an excellent basketball player, but I'm saying playing some sport that doesn't exist. How do I be excellent at a sport that's not real? So just decide what you want and decide that it's what you want, not what your leader wants, not what anyone else. You need to decide what you want. So number three is to be excellent in our business is you need to buy into the sales talk. 100% word for word. I know you guys are good about this because I've talked with Colin Van about implementing sales talk reviews and really dialing this in. But I want you to think about being a musician, right? And you go up on stage and you've got 10,000 people there, and it's one of those rave concerts that Kyle likes to go to, where he's got glow sticks and stuff. It's great. But I'm just kidding. They don't have words in that. But you're at a concert, 10,000 people there, and you're in the front row. And the lead singer of the concert sees you in the front row and says, "Hey, come on up." And then they invite you up on stage. And you're like, "What is going on right now?" And they hand you the mic and they go, "Freestyle rap for 30 seconds, go." And the drummer drops a beat and there's 10,000 people staring at you. And you're going, "Oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing." And you just bomb. Or if you're the singer and you forget the lyrics of your song. That's what it feels like to be in the field and not know the sales talk. What I appreciate about some of the people I work with, like Mitch McKinney and Austin Nice, some of these people that just put up wacky numbers, is if you watch Mitch McKinney, he embodies excellence in the sales talk. The guy, you could record 10 demos in a row, and I kid you not, you really wouldn't hear much of a variation of even tonality between what he's doing. Every comma, every exclamation point, every pause is exactly like the sales talk. Exactly. So commit to using and knowing the sales talk 100%. No behind the back special moves until it's mastered like blinking your eyelids. And when it's mastered like blinking your eyelids, now you've earned the right to potentially tailor that thing when the time is right. Okay, if you're a chef, you can make a really good meal following a detailed recipe. But where you see people who can't cook a meal as they try to pretend they're a master chef, adding a dash of this and a dash of that into the sales talk. And now they have goulash, which I don't like. So just follow the system. Like excellence is following and mastery of a system. Number 4, I'll say invest in yourself. That means reading great books, listening to podcasts. There's a family heritage podcast that you guys are all familiar with. Utilizing your audio library, all the recordings you have of prior people who are excellent at this, and asking a ton of questions. Reach out and ask for help, ask for questions. The curious learners in this that are kind of constantly seeking knowledge, they're the ones that develop, right? It's on your own time. It's develop that ability to invest in yourself. When you think of someone who's excellent at anything like Kobe Bryant, yeah, he has talent. But what everybody says about Kobe outside of his mentality is he goes to the gym when no one's watching, when no one's there, right? Throughout his career. So you're in the field, you work your 8-9 hour day, you do your everything to the best of your ability. And then all day you've been keeping track of where you messed up. And then you go home and you study and you write out your sales talk and you go, where did I mess this up? When Mitch was new, he didn't have the greatest training. It was a circumstance. So he didn't have much of a trainer. If you guys don't know who Mitch is, Mitch McKinney, he's one of the best I've ever seen at what we do. He recorded his sales talk without anyone asking him. Every single demo, in the field, he would turn his phone on, record. And then at the end of the night, he would go home, set his phone down, hit play, and have the sales talk right next to it and figure out in reality where he was off from the sales talk, not where he thought he was off. Okay. And it would just correct it. So you cannot be excellent without mastery of the basics. Like you have to, if you've been here 10 years and you've got some prior version of a sales talk still floating around in your mind, you need to squash it and get on the new one and know it perfectly. Next one, I keep going back to sales talk and investing in yourself, but the next one I'll say is you don't have to necessarily be judicious with your time. You need to be able to prioritize your time to what is going to have the greatest return. Okay. So if you're a team leader, I'll give you an example. Early in leadership, if I had 10 people on my team, I felt this need to spend the equal amount of time with each person. But to be excellent, you should run your business like a meritocracy. Okay. where you spend your time with the people who earn your time, the people who are working the hardest. We always tell people we will invest in you as long as you're investing in your own success. And I always ask people, what do you think that means? And they say, well, gosh, I guess if I'm working really hard, you'll work hard to help me. And I'm like, exactly. Yeah. If you're working hard, we will pour into you. And that's how you need to spend your time. Pour into the people that are fully engaged. You can't steer a parked car, right? So make sure you're not a parked car. Number 6, outwork everyone on your team. That will solve 80% of any dysfunction or any issues that you have, because when you're outworking everyone, you'll be less tolerant of people not working. Right, Kyle? Like, if you're just going through the motions as a leader yourself, it's hard to hold other people accountable to not working hard because you're not working hard, right? So if you outwork everyone that you know that's part of your team, 80% of your issues in leadership will solve themselves, in my opinion. And people will actually respect you because your effort is excellent. Your effort is excellent. That's the one thing we can all control. We can all have excellent effort. And so just outwork everyone on your team. I love telling people when we hire them, I said, you will never call me when you're out in the field working really hard and me pick up the phone on the golf course. It will never happen. And people love hearing that, hey, from the leadership down, these people are outworking me. And I always challenge them, I dare you to outwork me right before I hire them. I challenge you to outwork me. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. And that's just how it is. Excellence is effort, y'all. All right. Speaking of effort, don't underestimate the amount of effort you're going to have to put in. If you've ever read the book, The 10X Rule, he talks about effort. Pretty much that's what the point of the whole book is. It's going to take 10 times the effort you think to get the results you want. But we all need to be willing to overcompensate for our lack of skill in any area with extra effort. Okay. And gladly do it, right? If you're trying to become really great in the field, well, for a period of time, you're going to need to overcompensate for your skill with extra effort, and just embrace it. That's okay. You're not going to advance. You're not going to improve at anything without putting in just an almost unfair amount of effort in the beginning to build that skill till your skills catch up at anything. Interviewing people, anything we do, training people. To be an excellent trainer, you have to mess training up more than anybody else does. That's just the way it is. It's no big deal. Just embrace it and go in and do it. All right. Number 8, run your business like a business. Okay. I think, I was looking at this part, Kyle, and I wrote this formula down. It's all about the metrics plus the sales talk plus a good attitude. That's the formula for success. The metrics, which is like the controllable activities, mastery of the sales talk, and a great attitude. And you having a great attitude is your responsibility. You got to take ownership over your effort and your attitude. That's it. We're going to show you how to do everything else. But if you can own those things, that's how you get success here. So overcompensation for where your skill is with extra effort till your skills catch up. Making that habit. That's excellent. Run your business like a business. Sorry about that. I got a little off there. So I was going to show you guys a canvassing chart. I don't have it up, but I'll leave this part out because Ellingson asked me to put that in that's specific to his agency. Forget that. Okay. Set of goals that matters to you. Okay. And act like your life will end if you do not achieve the goal. So you can play this little game with yourself where you're like, okay, I know Kyle is dialed in on hitting 4 million in premium this year. Like there's no way that's not going to happen. He'll die trying. Like he will die in the field at 2 a.m. with his iPad on 1% charge at the last day of the year, to make sure that you guys hit 4 million this year. It's not going to take that, but that's what he's willing to do. And so like, how far are you willing to go to hit your goal? Right? How far are you, like, are you really, really committed to your goal? Or is it just something that you want to hit if average effort gives you that result? So it's just you've got to set a goal that matters to you, because if it doesn't matter to you, you're not going to be willing to go through the hard stuff to make it happen. And so I like to ask people another thing. I know I always come back to my interview process, but I do a lot of interviewing. So this is kind of some helpful stuff, hopefully. But, I'll ask people, listen, in your first 3 to 6 months, everybody thinks about quitting. Everybody thinks about quitting. I know I did. I know probably Kyle did. Van probably did. Everybody thinks about it. It's just the people that are successful here don't do it. There's something that's meaningful enough to them that when that thought flies through their mind, they press on anyway. And I ask them, what is your driving force that not if, but when you feel like quitting, it's going to push you through that moment to keep going. And so know why you're doing what you're doing and why that goal is important to you, and write it down. And make sure that's in front of you. So when you feel average for a hot minute, you just read that and go, yeah, no, I'm not average. I'm not average. Know what the renewal opportunity is. You guys, I'm going to say something different here. So I just did our agency day, and I had this epiphany while I was putting together a part on the financial opportunity. And there's a connection between the renewals you will build and the impact that you have. Okay. So obviously we know that's true with protecting families, right? The more families you protect, the more impact you have on those families, right? It can change the trajectory of their life, and you earn more renewals. And if you do it the right way, where you protect people, they feel good about what they bought, you feel good about it, you're not twisting their arm, they want to keep their plan, they have it when they need it, you get renewals, right? Positive impact yields renewals. Well, in leadership, you're impacting people in another way, right? Not only are you impacting more families because more people can protect more families, but you're impacting the people you work with. You're scaling the impact exponentially in leadership. And when you're effective as a leader and you're developing people into protecting families and helping them get where they want to go, your impact is multiplied. Therefore, your renewals are multiplied. So if you ever are wondering who has the biggest impact, you can really look at their renewals, and that'll tell you who is impacting people. But that was an epiphany where I was like, whoa, if I focus on impact, the renewals will come, right? So if I ask myself, what kind of impact am I making today, this year, this month? If it's profound, my renewals will become profound. Okay. And that's so much more service on others than it is just focusing on, oh, what's my statement of account say? What's my advanced statement? No, it's like, how much impact am I having today? Right? What you put into the lives of others comes back into your own. All right. So I think this is one of the things Kyle was talking about, but the beginning of this year, when I sat down with everybody and we tried to define excellence, like, what is it? What is one thing that to us defines excellence that allows us to live into this idea of excellence on a daily basis? And it's, in my opinion, and this has worked well for us this year, is just doing what you don't feel like doing all the time. It doesn't sound that fun, doing what you don't feel like doing all the time, but it's just like in the common denominator of success, where they talk about when you do what you ought to do, you feel good. When you do what you shouldn't do, you feel bad. So if you can spend your time doing what you ought to do, what you don't feel like doing, but what's the right thing to do, you will get tremendous results and you will be excellent. Okay. We can't be excellent doing what we feel like doing all the time. All right. So just wake up each day the rest of this year and say, hey, I'm going to do exactly what I don't feel like doing all day long. And there's no way you guys won't blow the doors off 4 million in premium this year and be on a trajectory that's insane. And when we do what we don't feel like doing, good things happen. I want to tell you a story. This is a wrap this up. So I think it was a founders week a few years back. I'm sitting on Friday, right? We flew out of town. We're in this train more, and we had these huge goals, and we're like, people are hitting them. And it's one of those magical weeks where you're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. We're breaking belief barriers. And I'd set a goal for, I think this was back when there were units, but it was about 25,000 in premium was the conversion. And on Friday night, I'd hit it. And I was like, so happy. And we're back at the Trainmore Hotel where there was a hot tub. And so it's Friday night. We're like 4 or 5 of us are in the hot tub, just chatting. BJ Baker, if you know him, he was new. He was across from me in the hot tub and he had hit his goal. Eric Hicks, this other guy, was in the hot tub and he had hit his goal. And we're all just reveling in our greatness, from a hard week on Friday night. My flight didn't leave till like Saturday night, but in my head, I'd kind of checked out because I'm like, I hit my goal. It's Friday night. Like, this is great. And I'm sitting in the hot tub and I look over at Eric and I'm like, dude, cool. And he just stops me like at one point and goes, hey, dude, can I follow you tomorrow? And I sat there in the hot tub and I was like, oh, and I'd already kind of in my mind, like took the pressure off and took the pedal off the gas. And I was like, done mentally. And of course, he was on my team. So I said, absolutely, dude. Yeah, you can totally follow me tomorrow. But in my head, I'm thinking, dang it, I got to go out there and do more. And so we get in the car the next day and I'm trying to hunt this family down and I'm looking at my referrals and I'd gotten this referral to Matt and Christy Nielsen. Okay. So I couldn't find them all week and it's Saturday though. So I'm like, they're definitely home. Right. So I drive to their house. Okay. And it's this pretty house out in the country. He drives a truck. He's a truck driver. So I can see the truck in the driveway. And I'm like, okay, he's definitely here. Walk up, knock on the door. He invites me in because I'd signed up a bunch of other people he knew and demo them and they sign up. It's Matt and Christy, their 2 little kids. And I didn't think anything twice about it. I was like, hey, I'm glad Eric asked to follow me. I definitely wouldn't have signed these people up. It was an ace. They just loved it. And so I protected some more families. And by the time I get back to Tennessee, I just business as usual. It's been a great week. And 6-9 months later, my phone rings with this Utah number, 435. And when you get that number that you haven't saved, there's two scenarios you're going to pick up, right? One is they need you. And the other is they need to cancel or change their coverage, right? So I'm going, man, who is this? I answer the phone. He's like, hey, Andy, it's Matt Nielsen. I don't know if you remember me, but you sold me a cancer policy last year. And I'm racking my brain. I'm like, okay. And I remembered him because I remember hunting him down. It was so hard to get a hold of. I was like, yeah, Matt, how you doing? And he goes, hey, man, I can't believe I got to tell you this, but my son, Damon, he just got diagnosed with leukemia. And I was like, whoa, I'm so sorry to hear that. He's like, yeah, we're on our way to Salt Lake City, Utah, 120 miles from where they live. And we don't know what's going to happen. They don't know how long he'll be there. They don't know how long we'll be there, but we're freaking out. Like, how do I make a claim? So I said, sure, dude. And I faxed over this claim form to the hospital. This is before we could just like email stuff to him or whatnot. Got him the claim form. He filled it out. Didn't hear from him again for 3 months. So he calls me again 3 months later. I'm in my kitchen on the weekend and I see his number and I'd saved his number. I'm like, Matt, how you doing? And he goes, oh, good. I got another question. And I'm like, how's your son? He's like, he's doing better. Hopefully we'll get to go home soon. It's been 3 months. I'm like, whoa. You haven't gone home? And he's like, no, we've been here for 3 months. I was like, wait, you've all been there for 3 months? He's like, yeah, me, Christy, Damon, and our daughter have been here for 3 months. I was like, wow. And so I helped him out. And at the end, I'm like, just out of curiosity, how much have they paid you so far on this claim? And he goes, oh, dude, it's been a life changer, like $52,000 in 3 months. And I was like, wow. And for the first time in my life in this career on that Saturday, I'm in my kitchen and it hit me like how important we do what we do is, right? Like they weren't at home for 3 months. They didn't make any money. They have a house, 2 car payments, another child, like property, made no money except for what they got from Family Heritage. So he's extremely grateful. But the best part of the story is about a year after that, me and about 3 people decided to go back to Utah and reservice for a week because we have all these clients there and nobody lives there. Hadn't seen them for a couple of years. So we flew out. And again, I'm trying to hunt down Matt and Christy Nielsen to do it because I want a testimonial. I want to see him and hear the story. It was kind of I was just at my first big claim and I finally met them again right before I left. And it was surreal. Like, you guys picture this with these people you're meeting. Like, I'm on the couch, Matt's next to me, his daughter's on the arm of the couch, his wife Christy's on the bar stool, and then Damon's on another bar stool, just starting to grow his hair back. Okay. He's got a chemo port still in his chest. Okay. This is like a year and a half, 2 years late. He still had a chemo port. Okay. And they start telling me the story. And they had a photo album of his entire journey through cancer in the hospital, from when his body weight went down to like 50 pounds. He literally was grasping for life while he was in the hospital. And just the emotion involved, and like his parents, and how meaningful it was that they had this silly policy that I showed up on a Saturday and didn't even want to go see him. I would never have seen them if Eric Hicks hadn't asked me to go follow. Like, this family's entire life would be changed. And when we're wrapping up with the meeting, we're all crying, we're all bawling as we're hearing the story and stuff. And Matt like literally grabs me as I'm about to stand up and walk out, puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, dude, and he just looks at me in the face and goes, dude, I just want you to know, like, you're one of the 5 most important people in our life. And I'm like losing it at this point. I'm like, wow. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, he was a referral that would be living on some sheet of paper in a notebook, had these things not unfolded in the hot tub about this train more. And since that point, I'm just like, we accidentally on purpose change people's lives. Like, it's not fair for me to get that level of like appreciation from them, but that's what we do. Like, you're going to protect somebody that is just, it's almost transactional to you sometimes, right? You get them protected and you're like, on to the next one. Who's next? And then you could save their life of their child by what you did. And so I just want you to remember, like, this is so much bigger than the day-to-day. This is so much bigger than how you feel if you feel like going to work in the moment. Like, that's why I say excellence is doing what you don't feel like doing all the time. Every time you feel like not doing it, you should automatically do it, because you don't know who you're going to affect like that. We had that family come to our agency day in April in Vegas and tell the story. And still to this day, because this was 2013, still to this day, they were weeping in gratitude for the policy, weeping. And so just understand that you make a difference, and it's Thanksgiving, and good Lord, we have a lot to be thankful for. Everybody in this call has a lot to be thankful for with what they get the opportunity to do every single day. So let's be excellent as we run out this year. So hopefully that hit home. I just thought I'd share that story at the end, and that's what I got.
Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. We're going to end on that. Like, I've heard that story before, and that's still gives me teary eyed. Thank you, Andy, so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. And we will see you next week, Andy, in Puerto Rico. So I will personally be there, and several of our agents will be there. So can't wait to hang out with you.
Better bring your volleyball team.
Yeah. The Schneider agency against Santos agency.
Let's go.
Can't wait to. You guys may beat us in premium, but we got you in volleyball this year, hopefully. I don't know. You guys got Mitch McKinney. We call him Mount McKinney over here.
He's short, though.
Yeah.
Short.
But thank you, Andy, again. That was unfreaking believable. So thank you, brother. All right, guys. Well, today, guys, it is Wednesday. Obviously, we got Thanksgiving tomorrow. I just want you to take the notes. I've got a ton of notes from Andy right here. Just be committed to your goal. Just knowing the opportunity and running your business like a business. I got probably about 4 pages of notes right here, but make sure that you guys run your business like a business today, and be very grateful and thankful for what you have, because there are so many people that need what you're doing today. And just you doing all the things that you don't want to do, you don't know who your Matt Christie Nielsen will be. Okay. So if you've been here for 1 or 2 years, you may not have gotten that call yet from one of your clients that's like, hey, Kyle, I got to tell you something. I was just diagnosed with cancer, but I promise you that will happen at some point. And it goes from a job into a career when that happens. So every family that you protect, you don't know what's going to happen to them in the future. And it may just seem like what Andy said, like a transaction at the point, but it is a ripple effect for years and years and years what you're doing, and it can save people's lives. What we do is extremely important. And holy smokes, just being thankful for what we have, guys. You guys all were hired, just a couple of things that you guys can be thankful for. The fact that you guys, work for a growing company, be thankful for that. Be thankful for your families, be thankful the fact that we can not work tomorrow and feel good about it. Right. So I know we just had Erica speak earlier today, and she was like, she didn't have Thanksgiving for 20 years in her prior career as a paramedic and a first responder and dispatch, because she had to work every single Thanksgiving. Well, here tomorrow, she's going to be with 40 of her family members. So be thankful for situations like that. Be thankful that, you guys have your health. There's a lot of people in America that can't do what we do. They're not physically able to get out of their car and protect families and hold an iPad all throughout the course of a day. And also be thankful that you guys are working for two awesome agencies, and the Davenport and the Schneider agencies. We're growing as fast as anybody else in all of Globe Life. Like, be thankful for that. And, I'm thankful that we're in the legacy group, definitely the best group in family heritage. I'm thankful that our team is killing it, and we're just getting better and better. I'm thankful for all of you guys, that you guys make me better and hold me accountable to a high standard. And yeah, so guys, let's go out there today. Let's do our dead level best and let God do the rest. And we will see you guys. We will not have a Zoom tomorrow on Thanksgiving, but on Friday, me and Van will have a short and sweet Zoom just to kick off, because I do know that several of you guys will be working on Black Friday to hit your quick start bonuses, or whatever it is, whatever the goals that you're going for. So I personally will be available on Friday. I will be in the office for most of the day. So if you're working on Friday, we will have an 8 a.m. Zoom that's very short and sweet to kick off Friday. But hopefully you guys have a great day. Let's go work hard and earn our Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. Super excited, guys. We'll see you guys here soon. Have a great and blessed day.